Oh, fudge. I hope this is better. I'm sorry. Like, this is probably a ghetto hot mess. I'm trying to do the camera right. I thought I could do it in selfie mode, so give me a second. Oh, god darn it. Hold on. Is this really how I'm going out right now? Anyways. Hi. I'm Ashley. Actually, I'm Daisy. And I don't know if I'm doing this right. God, I feel like a hot mess right now. I've been having issues with my camera all night, and I eventually had to just get on my phone and do it because my webcam on my laptop was completely terrible, and then just other stuff going on too. And I can't see, so give me a second to figure this out. Hold on. This sucks. Hold on. Oh my. Hold on. Ugh. Crap on a stick. What does this do? Oh, yay. I figured it out. Hi. So, give me a minute. I gotta set this back up. I had this Jimmy rig, and then, wow. I'm starting on the right foot. And I noticed my hubby is up here. Hey, babe. Why don't you write me a message as, for some encouragement, because this video is a hot mess right now. And, God damn. Yeah. So, give me a second. Added my hubby to this, but I just wanted to start off by saying hi again. I'm Ashley, aka Daisy King, which is my pseudonym, and I had a weird alert on my thing. And this is just my live Q&A regarding my book. Nobody's really joined yet, but like I said, this has started off very, 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 very incredibly rocky. I do have a few questions so far. Hold on. Give me a minute. I guess the first question is, what is the premise of the book? Let's see. Actually, give me 1 second. All right. Well, the premise of the book, name of the book is My Brother's Keeper. The premise is a young girl named Layla Miller. She's having a terrible life in New York City. She has a dead-end job, and she's suffering through a terrible, toxic relationship. And then she goes through this big tragedy that pushes her life in a different direction for her to have a fresh start. And she meets this guy, and the two of them have an instant connection, but the guy she meets has secrets of his own, and they share a strange connection, and his strange connection connects to her life in a life-changing way. And I don't want to go into too many details about it, because if I do, I'm going to ruin the actual story of the book, but that's the main premise. And let's see, what's my next question? Actually, hold on 1 second. Sorry, this is like so terrible. Sorry about the interruption. Let's see. Hold on, I keep getting these alerts. Freaking. Hold on. Sorry, I keep getting like these stupid alerts. I guess next question. What inspired you to write this book? Well, I wanted to write a book for like a good couple of years now, and my big inspiration was, I guess I came across this idea like a good 4 years ago, and like it was nagging me about and it just kept nagging me, and it just kept bothering me. And then I decided, I just started writing down about this young girl being in a relationship with a guy where he was very codependent on her, and it kind of snowballed from there. So I guess that was the big inspiration, if that makes any sense. I feel like I'm rambling right now. God, this is I'm not really good at this, and I'm starting to think this was like a terrible idea. Let's see. Next question. what are your ambitions for your writing career? Well, I don't have a lot of big ambitions. My first one is to get this first book published, and thankfully I'm on the right track of finally getting it done. And I guess my other ambitions is to just continue my career from there. I guess hopefully this one will do okay. I'm not expecting it to be like a great success, but just the fact that I'm finally able to get it out there. Sorry, I just read what my friend Elena said. She just said this wasn't a terrible idea. Dude, it's such a terrible idea that I did this Q&A, because if you would have saw how it started in the beginning, you would have been laughing your ass off. But I'm glad you're here. God, I lost my train of thought. Oh, my ambitions. Well, my ambition, like I said, is first is to get this book published, and then hopefully maybe just get like, a couple more published and just go from there, and just see how it goes. Next question. Does writing inspire or exhaust you? That's like a really good question. I guess it depends. Actually, writing can be very exhausting, especially when you're trying to get past like a certain section, or if you have an idea but you can't like get it, written the way you want to. But I actually find writing to be very inspiring, especially since it's a huge passion of mine. It's been a huge passion of mine since I was a kid, actually. So to answer your question, it could be both. It could be very inspiring at times, and sometimes it can be very exhausting. Let's see. Next question. Give us some insight on your main character. My main character's name is Layla Miller. I want to say she's in her late 20s. She's, like I said before in the beginning, she's just someone that's been very, like, she's kind of in a dead-end situation, like a, dead-end situation in her life where she's in a job that she terribly hates, and she's in a relationship that is very unhealthy and toxic, and she just is the kind of person that's yearning for normalcy in a way, and she's always putting others before herself. And I guess when you read the book, hopefully you'll get to see that she's going to find somebody that encourages her to, start taking care of herself, because she has a tendency to take care of other people and puts herself last. And then she meets this guy that tries to show her that, hey, you need to start taking care of yourself too. So hopefully that answers that question. I feel like I'm rambling with a lot of these. So let's see. Next question. What was the hardest scene to write? I had a lot of trouble with the ending. The ending, like, I knew how I wanted it to end, but I didn't want it to seem, like, incredibly cheesy and cliched, so it was hard for me to try to write an ending that was satisfying for me, at least. And then, let's see. I actually also had trouble writing, like, one of the love scenes. I feel really uncomfortable writing stuff like that, which is really odd, because I could read stuff like that and feel comfortable reading it, but when I write it, I feel like it comes off like really forced and really cheesy. But hopefully hopefully whoever reads it, doesn't think that. But I guess those are the two things that I've had the hardest time writing. All right. And next question. And anybody that's in here, which is not a lot of people, which is kind of sad, feel free to like type a question and I could maybe answer it. I'm not sure. So my phone just did a weird flash thing. That's weird. Let's see. Let me see if I can find another question. 1 second. Hold on. Sorry. And sorry about the background noise. I have a 2-year-old. Her name's Natalie. She's watching Paw Patrol, so if you hear like a really loud squeal in the back, it's her. Yep, like that. So, what was my next question? Sorry. Sorry. What is your writing kryptonite? That's a that's a difficult question. What is my writing kryptonite? I would have to say sometimes I tend to second guess myself a lot, and I guess my kryptonite is that I tend to get inside my head a lot, and then I tend to second guess myself, and I overanalyze certain things, and sometimes I just need to learn how to go with the flow more and just trust my instincts a lot more. So I guess my kryptonite is myself and how I tend to overanalyze things. So hopefully that makes sense. How'd you select the name of your characters? Well, the name Layla I've always liked. I actually wanted to name my daughter Layla, but my husband, for some reason, had an issue with that name, so we ended up settling on Natalie. But I've always liked the name Layla, and I don't know, maybe if we have another baby, which we're still debating on, maybe if we have another baby and it ends up being a girl, we'll name her Layla. But that's how I ended up with the name of the main character. And the name Rhett, actually, how did I come up with the name Rhett? Her, which is her love interest. Basically, I was going through guy names and I was trying to pick a name that was kind of like, I'm not saying old school, but kind of like manly and like southern. And the name Rhett, just kind of stuck out to me a little bit because you really don't hear that name often. And I was like, huh, that's like a good manly name. So that's how I settled on that. And then like other minor characters like Layla's sister Audrey. I picked the name Audrey because that's actually my mom's name. And then let's see. And then Layla's ex-boyfriend James. His original name was Andrew or Andy, but somehow like I changed it because I don't know, it just sounded kind of corny to me. And then also I kind of have issues with that name. I won't go into it. And then let's see. And then the name Mike. Um I just wanted to keep like Mike is like the antagonist in the book, and I think I chose the name because I just wanted a name like every Mike I seem to know is kind of a douche. No offense. Like I know a couple of Mikes and they're kind of dicks. So I guess maybe that's why I picked the name Mike as the antagonist. And then just other names I just picked out of like picked randomly, but hopefully that makes sense and I probably sound like I'm rambling. So let's see. How do you find time or how do you make time to write? Well, being that I'm a stay-at-home mom, I tend to have a lot of time to write. Well, actually, that's not true because, you know, being a stay-at-home mom is a full-time job. I don't care what anybody tells you. So I guess whenever I do have a moment in myself, I try to find time to write like that. Like I said, and plus, like, I love to write. It's actually a hobby of mine. So I try to make time. Like, if there's an idea in my mind, I try to, like, write it down somehow. Like, I have, like, a bunch of notebooks. Like, I'm a hoarder of notebooks. So I always try to write the idea down, or I try to type it, or I try to put it on my tablet. Um, but actually, with the book, the book's been written for like a couple of years now. I've just been dragging my feet as far as getting it published and edited. The good thing when I wrote the book, I actually had a job where I had plenty of time to write it because I used to work. It's embarrassing. I used to work at a car dealership and actually hated the job. I love well, I'm not gonna say I love my coworkers. I love the ladies in the office. I miss you girls. But I hated the job, but the good thing about the job is because I closed a lot, so I was able and a lot of nights it was like very quiet and you know sometimes it was scary as fuck, but a lot of times it was quiet, so I used to be able to just bring my laptop in and just type away and not be disturbed. So I got a lot of the book a lot of it written when I was at that particular job, so I found the time to write then, so that was actually like a blessing in disguise, even though I absolutely hated that place. But it's in the past and, you know, but still. All right. Let me try to find the next question. Let's see. Uh, what lead actor or actress would you like to see playing the lead role from your book? Huh. Who would I like to see play Layla? That's a good freaking question. Because like I said, Layla will be somebody like in her late 20s, let's say maybe early 30s, but I like to say mid to late 20s. So somebody probably young. I actually favor the actress Amber Stevens West. I don't know if you know her. She if anybody ever watched the Carmichael show, she played the girlfriend in that. She was also the love interest in 22 Jump Street, and I think she's really pretty. So actually, I see maybe her playing Layla, or maybe who else? I don't know. Maybe like an unknown African American actress, because in the book Layla is black, and who would play her love interest? That's a good question. Um, and I knew who I have in my head to play her love interest, and if I say it, it's probably gonna get made fun of. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. I have another alert. Who would play her love interest? Maybe. Like I said, it's gonna sound embarrassing. I don't care. I actually written it to inside my head. It was originally Chris Evans. Don't judge me. Although I know if he's still in the chat, a certain person is judging me. But that's who I had in my head to play the love interest. I'll say a mix between Chris Evans, maybe. Shit. Damn it, I can't think of anybody else. All right, I'll just say him because that's who he kind of was in my head, but just yeah. So, and then I guess to maybe play I had another person to maybe play Layla, but I totally lost it because I'm kind of scattered brain because it's like incredibly late. So please forgive me if it sounds like I'm rambling. Let me get to the next question, which is totally a random and silly one. Let's see. What were you like in school? Kind of how I am now. Socially awkward. Very, very socially awkward. I was I kept to myself a lot. I mean, I always had like a small group of friends, but we were always like outcasts and like freaks and geeks. And I was kind of bullied a little bit by certain people, but that's just life. But yeah, I was very socially awkward, kind of how I am now, but like, I guess with my being socially awkward now, I kind of like use it to my advantage because I own it. It is who I am, and love it or hate it, but that's just who I am. So, how was I in school? Very socially awkward and very nerdy, and I'm 33 years old and I'm still the same way. But meh, I just learned to own it. So, let's see. Next question. Sorry. And like I said, feel free to like ask any questions to the few people that are in here, which is not a lot, but I wasn't expecting a lot. And I just got a notice from, from Kelly. Let's see. Hey girl, hey, thanks. I haven't talked to you in forever. Thanks for the congrats on the book. I'm really excited about it. Super nervous that I'm releasing it, but I'm just glad that it's finally done, and hopefully you guys like it. God, I got distracted. What's the next question? What is your next project? Well, my next project is I have a website, but it's kind of promoting the book right now. But with the website, I kind of want to like expand it. I'm kind of hoping to do maybe like a lifestyle blog. It's still in the early stages in my head. Like I'm trying to figure out like what idea like I want to do with the blog. But I would love to do a lifestyle blog. I'm kind of tinkering around with like themes and stuff, like because I kind of want to target it towards other moms, like other stay-at-home moms like me, or just other moms and just women in general, and just have it be a fun blog with like random articles and maybe like recipes. And I do want to write another book. I actually have another idea for a book. Hopefully, I can start writing it within the next month or so. I don't know when it's going to be finished. And hold on, I have an alert. My video got interrupted. Because I'm doing it on my phone. Because like I said before earlier to anybody who was watching, I couldn't get the camera on the computer to work the way I wanted it to. Not using using the webcam on my phone. I'm not on my laptop. It was completely horrible. God, darn it! I'm getting like a bunch of alerts on Twitter. It's so annoying. But like I said, so my next project hopefully will be expanding like my website. Like I said, I want to do a lifestyle blog on that and just maybe just, you know, expand the website. And then hopefully I can have another book written sometime next year. So that's the main two projects I want to work on. So, and as far, and then, like with the website too, I would love to like maybe bring other people on, like other contributors, like they could write articles too, or we could do like random videos where we could talk about things in like the area, or just like, you know, just issues that moms or just women going through and stuff like that. So like I said, I want to try to get that going, but I'm still trying to iron out how I want to like set everything up. So maybe within like the next month or so, I can start like, you know, really get serious and try to figure that out. So, you know, and I have more people up here. Shoot. What did I just hit? Sorry, sorry. I'm still doing this on my phone and I'm being a fucking idiot right now. Let me get to the next question. What advice do you have for other writers? What advice do I have? Just always keep writing. Even if like your idea seems, hold on a second. Shh, baby, you gotta be quiet. Mommy? Yeah. You wanna say hi? Here. Say hi.
Hi.
That's my little one. That's Natalie. She's...
Hi, Mommy.
Aww. Be quiet.
Hi.
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 Alright, she's probably gonna be hanging out over here now because she loves the camera. You're so funny. But what advice do I have for other writers? Sorry. You're making a lot of noise. You need to stop. Basically, just like I said, just keep writing and try not to second guess yourself. Even if you think your idea seems really stupid, it probably is, but if it's a good, you know, just write it down, and then, you know, maybe once you start writing it, you can iron out the bad parts of it, and, you know, you can maybe just, you know, tinker around, and eventually your dumb idea might seem to be like a really great idea, and it might expand into like an awesome story. So what advice do I have? Just keep writing no matter what, and don't let anybody talk you out of it. I really feel like I'm rambling with these questions, so, but I don't know. Let's see. Next one. Give me a second. And again, I'm sorry if my kid's making a bunch of noise. Her dad's out of town right now for work. Am I happy about it? No. Sorry. Let's see. What's my next question? Give me a second. I'm sorry. What is the first book that made you cry? Okay, I have to think about that one. Probably The Color Purple. Because I was one of those weird people that actually read... Did I read the book before I saw the movie? Alright, I probably was about to tell a lie and say I did. No, actually, no, I remember seeing the movie first because I remember my babysitter made me watch that movie. And it totally, like, resonated with me, and to this day, it's still one of my favorite movies. And then I remember one summer at my aunt's house, because she actually had a copy of the book. I want to say I was, like, around maybe, like, 9 or 10, and I read the book, and you know how, like, the book is, you know, has a lot more details than the actual movie, and I read the book, and, like, I just remember certain parts just made me cry, because just how the main character went through so much, and I'm just like, holy shit. And it's such a great story. And like I said, to this day, it still resonates with me. And it's still one of my favorite movies. I'll say it's in my top 5. Yeah. So, I guess say The Color Purple. And then also, is it called A Child Called It? That made me cry too. Because I remember reading that, like in middle school. And I remember, you know, that was like it was a sad story and it made me cry. What's another book that made me cry? Oh, Marley and Me? That actually made me cry too. So... And anybody ever, you know, read that or seen the movie knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm starting to ramble again because I have a tendency to do that. So I'm going to go to the next question. Let's see. Do you believe in writer's block? I actually like that question because it's a good twist as opposed to asking, do you ever get writer's block? Which is a stupid question because anybody that writes, or, you know, Yeah, any writer will get writer's block sometime, at some point in their freaking life, and it's fucking horrible. But I like this question where it says, do you believe in writer's block? I guess I just answered the question. Yes, I believe in writer's block because every once in a while, everybody, it happens to anybody. Like, even like, where you're trying to do something or you're trying to write and you get stuck. And it could be because life gets in the way, or it could be because you're overthinking things, or it could be because you you just have a brain fart. So yes, so to answer that question, yes, I do believe in writer's block. And it kind of sucks because for the past, like, I don't know if I should be admitting this out loud, but it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm already about to just put it out there. But I write fan fiction, and there was like a couple of times where I got really bad writer's block where I would write a couple chapters in a story, and then I'd get to the next one and brain fart. So yes, it happened. So to answer the question, yes, I do believe in writer's block. So that was a really good question. I like that. All right, and then I have only like a couple more of these. Let's see. Give me a second. What did I do? Ooh, I just clicked something I wasn't supposed to. Hold on. It's another question. What was your favorite scene to write? Okay, well, I mean, I already said what was the hardest one. My favorite scene to write? This is probably really sadistic of me, but I have like a weird mind. But I think my favorite scene to write was the beginning with I don't want to give too much away, but in the beginning, like I said, Layla is in a really like toxic relationship with this guy. He's kind of like he's a musician, but he's kind of also like a drug addict, and he has some mental health issues and stuff. And I don't want to give too much away in the beginning, but he puts her in like a very like he ends up having to go to rehab because she finds him out, ODing, and he has to go to rehab or he's going to jail. And but he kind of checks himself out and he comes back home. And long story short, she tries to tell him to go back in. He tells her no, and it kind of turns into like this weird, crazy argument. I don't want to like go in. I don't want to give too much away, but I had a great time writing it because it kind of because it was the beginning of the story and like. I had that scene in my head when I started it, and when I, and I'm trying not to laugh because my kid's like making a whole bunch of noise in the back right now. But when I was writing the scene, like I could just see it so vividly in my head. So I had a great time writing it, and the way it ended was so shocking. And I knew that like if I started the story off like that, it would hook people. So I guess to answer the question that like I had a great time writing it. And hold on, what the deuce do I have? Hold on, my computer just did something really weird. Shit. I'm sorry if I'm cursing a lot. I tend to curse like a lot, so I know it's not professional. Ugh, what the hell? Hold on. I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to open this folder because apparently I have a message and I can't open it. All right, well, that's not gonna happen. I swear to God, today's been like. All right, hold on. There it goes. All right. Let's see. All right, next question. Let's see. Can you give us some insight on the antagonist of the book? All right. Well, the antagonist is this guy named Mike Sullivan. He's the brother of the main character's ex-boyfriend, and he's kind of. I wrote him to be like a really like politically incorrect like douche. Like he was super he's very overprotective of his brother, and he always just viewed Layla as like just the wrong person for him and stuff. And I'm trying to like explain his character without giving too much away, but long story short, he's a psychopath, and he kind of he has his own sick infatuation with the main character, and long story short, he ends up in jail. I'm not going to say how he ends up in jail, but he ends up in jail, and he eventually, like, he has his own plan for revenge. I don't feel like I don't want to give too much away, but yeah. So long story short, he's just a psychopath. And when you read the book, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And hopefully it doesn't rub people like the wrong way. But I kind of wrote it to that he does. So yeah. And I feel like hopefully I'm answering these questions good. When I decided to do this in my mind, I thought it was like a cool idea. But then once I started, I'm just like, I realized this is a terrible idea. All right, let me see if I can find a couple more questions, and then I'm probably gonna wrap this up. And let's see. Would you ever make this into a series? I don't know if I would make this into a series per se. I wouldn't. I don't know, because the way the story ends, I don't know if I would make it into a series, but I guess I would say never, because I don't know, it could happen. I'll say never, but as of right now, it's not written as a series. But I do have a series in my mind planned, but it's not attached to this particular book. So like I said, I don't plan on making this one a series, but I do have a series in mind. So let's see. Let me find another question. What is the most embarrassing? I can't talk. What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever written? Besides the fan fiction that I have right now, that I'm not gonna mention again. Probably like the stuff that I wrote when I was in high school. Let's see. In high school, I probably still have the notebook like floating around somewhere. We just moved into a house, so it's probably like in a box somewhere, which is actually a really good thing. I used to be like that. Like I said, I used to be socially awkward in high school. And like I'm still socially awkward now, but I used to carry around this notebook, and it used to have like really embarrassing poetry. Really embarrassing poetry and short stories. So I think if anybody were to read it now, you would probably look at me like, wow. It's no wonder you're such a big nerd. And I'm a proud nerd, but I think if you read that, you would probably think, wow, you definitely are a sad individual. So hopefully, my husband never comes across that notebook. But that's probably the most embarrassing thing I've ever written. Although I've also written some really, like, I don't know if anybody's ever remembered like those really bad like websites that have like those boy band like stories. I may or may not have written a couple of those that are really atrocious, and I hope never. Well, they can't see the light of day because I know a lot of those websites are down now. So hopefully, that those never see the light of day. So those are really embarrassing too. Let's see. How did you come up with your nickname? Or I think this person was trying to spell pseudonym, but they just said or nickname. Well, the name Daisy Kane. I've always favored the name. The name Daisy is it's one of my old nicknames from back in the day, and I've always loved the name. And Daisy Kane. I think I just picked the name randomly, but I think I want to say Daisy Kane's like my alter ego. So I've always favored that name, so that's why I picked it. And because I think it's like it sounds kind of cool and it's kind of badass, although I'm neither one of those. But I just seem to really like the name because it's like it stands out. So that's why I picked it. And I'm not going to make fun of this person who tried to write pseudonym, because pseudonym is a hard word to write. Thank God for spell check. Let's see. What else? Do you have a special playlist, or do you use music while writing? It depends on my mood. I try not to, because I tend to get distracted when I play music. But if I'm like trying to write a certain scene out in my head, or if I'm trying to like put myself in a certain mood, or try to put myself in a certain head space with the character, then yeah. There was I guess with this particular story, I was listening to a lot of Fiona Apple, which is really weird, because who listens to Fiona Apple still? But That's because Layla to me is like a very melancholy and depressing character. So, and I wanted to be put in that headspace. And then for other scenes, or just if I needed to mellow out or just like clear my head, I would listen to like I said, I try not to listen to music, but if I need to mellow out or just relax, I do try to put on like some of my favorite music, but not too much where I'm like, singing along and shit. But if I just need like just something like background noise or just to like mellow myself out, I'll listen to Maroon 5. I'll say old Maroon 5 before, what's that freaking album? Before Overexposed, although that's a good album, but like the album after that, I'm just kind of like, I miss the old Maroon 5. So, Songs About Jane is probably like one of my top 5 favorite albums. So I listen to a lot of that. I'm not gonna say a lot of that, but I tend to listen to that if I'm writing, if I want to just get myself in like a good headspace. All right, let's see. Do you write part-time or full-time? Um, I guess technically full-time, although I just started because I don't have I don't have an actual 9 to 5 job. I'm a stay-at-home mom, which is, I feel is a job. Some people discredit it, but I feel it's like it's a job because it's a 24-hour job. But so I guess technically I'm a full-time writer. I would love to make an actual career of it. So, well, I'm in the beginning stages of it. So I guess to answer your question, full-time. But when I wrote this book, I guess technically it was a part-time because at the time I had a job, which, like I said before, I freaking hate it. Won't go into why I hated it, but just thinking about it now, I'm just like, I hated that place. So yeah, I guess technically to answer your question, I'm a full-time writer / stay-at-home mommy. Let's see. What is your favorite genre to write? Good question. I tend to write a lot of angsty stuff, maybe because I'm an angsty person, if that makes sense. But I feel more comfortable writing that. I guess maybe because in a way it's therapeutic. I like to write fluffy romantic stuff too because I'm such a girl. Nothing wrong with it. So those are my 2 favorite things to write. Oh, and there's a follow-up. What is your least favorite genre to write? Probably smut. Because like I said before, I'm not ashamed. I like reading it, but when I have to write it, I feel like it's incredibly forced. But the people that have read some of the stuff I've written say it's pretty decent, but I feel embarrassed when I write it, which is so stupid, but it is what it is. So let's see. I think I only have like 2 more questions, and then I'm probably gonna, wrap this up. Which character do you relate to most in this story? Probably, I kind of relate to Layla a little bit because I'm not gonna say she's a pushover, but sometimes she like overanalyzes things, which I tend to do a lot. Hopefully it's one of the things I'm gonna definitely work on in 2018. And then I also actually kind of relate to the other character, Rhett, because he has certain issues with his father, which is addressed in the book, but because I kind of have certain issues with mine. Me and my dad are in a decent place now, but there was like a point where we weren't in a good place. So I guess I kind of relate to him in that sense. And I think when I wrote like certain parts out, maybe in a way it was like therapeutic. So all right. And last question: how did you come up with the name of the book? I came up with the name of the book because well, you read about it, like the antagonist, he has I feel like I'm giving a part away. He has a tattoo that actually says "My Brother's Keeper," and he's like he's kind of like a Bible thumper and a religious freak and stuff. So I came up with the name of the book from like the Bible quote, "My brother's keeper," and stuff like that. So And so when you read the book, you'll kind of get the connection. So that's how I came up with the name of the book. So, um, well, this went on for about 40 minutes. Not a lot of people came on this, but the people that did come on here, thank you for looking at this hot mess of a video. I appreciate it. I'm going to wrap this up by just telling you guys to check out the website, daisykane.com. Daisy like the flower, Kane with a K. And it shows details on how you can get the book, which will be available this New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, actually, through Amazon. And you can get it on your Kindle and ebooks and stuff like that. And like I said, with the website, I kind of want to like expand it more. I'm going to probably end up like, showcasing more of my books and make it into like a lifestyle blog. So just, keep an eye out for that. And then also, just anybody that's interested in getting the book, just like my page, which is author Daisy Kane, or you can also follow me on Twitter, which is Mrs._Ashley_B. And then you can also follow me on Instagram, which is Daisy Kane 535. And like I said, just like the you can like the Facebook page, and I'm gonna periodically, post reminders of when the book comes out, and just maybe start doing more fun pictures with like quotes from the book and just teasers and stuff like that. Sorry, I have like an itch on my shoulder. And then also on the Facebook page, I'm probably I mentioned it on the Facebook page before, like if you tag the book, my which is hashtag my brother's keeper, you can win a chance at actually getting a free copy. So like I said, if you mention the book on your social media, you can win a chance to win a free copy. And that doesn't just go for Facebook. You can, if you follow me on Instagram, I'll look for it on Instagram. And if you follow me on Twitter, you can tag it on Twitter as well. But I guess that's it. And like I said, thanks for checking out this hot mess of a video. I kind of wish it would have went better, but I did answer like quite a few questions, more than I expected. So to whoever's still on here, thank you. I appreciate it. Bye.